Hello, my random viewers, and welcome to Randomly Offensive. Today, we will be continuing the story of Xiaoyu and Panda in the second part video. And if you missed the first one, the link to Xiaoyu part 1 is at the tippy top of this video, right here, right now. If you want to clickety-clickety on it, that's just fine with me, so you don't miss anything. Because we will be skipping the recap and continuing with Ling Xiaoyu's story. And when we last left off, she was going up against Lai Wulong in the third King of the Iron Fist tournament in her second round. The bell rings for the second round to start, facing Lai Wulong against Ling Xiaoyu. And Lai Wulong gets into a fighting pose, and Xiaoyu smiles and gets incredibly excited, and pointing a finger at him, Hey, that's the fighting style of the 5 animals, she says. And Lai Wulong smiles. So you know of this style, he says. And she excitedly nods. Yeah, Master Wong told me about it. He showed me some things, she said, getting in the exact same stance. Lai then smiles at her and says, I also know Drunken Fist, he says. And Lai Wulong has a proud smile on his face, while Xiaoyu is getting even more excited. And they're like, I've always wanted to learn Drunken Fist, but Wong said it was impractical in a real fight. And Lai laughs at this. It is not impractical. Allow me to show you how effective it really is. And Xiaoyu responds, You think you can prove Master Wong wrong? I'm pretty sure the guy trained with dinosaurs. He knows just about everything there is. And Lai decides to start this fight instead of the friendly batter that has been going on. And so they engage in battle, and Lai throws his body forward, tilting his entire body on his ankle, throwing himself forward with his wrist coming down towards Xiaoyu. Xiaoyu then blocks it, continuously smiling, and continues their conversation, going, Hey, that was the falling dragon, wasn't it? And Lai is now getting annoyed. They are supposed to be fighting. And so he reverts into another pose where he swings his arm around her neck while rotating his body around her, and then she gets even more excited. And this is that fan thing, that grappling fan or spinning fan or whatever it's called, she says, as she rotates her body downwards into a phoenix pose, grappling his wrist and throwing him over her shoulder, slamming him into the ground. However, he stops his body from hitting the ground just by using his toes to hit the ground first, keeping his body in a limbo state, while then rotating his body around, grabbing her wrist, and as he stands back up straight, she is now on her knees in a wrist grapple. However, she rotates her elbow around, bringing her wrist up, and then using her other hand to create a palm strike into his chest, throwing him back, and now they are both in their respected fighting stances, ready to begin the fight for real. Lai Wulong and Ling Xiaoyu's fight is more of a dance than anything, as they perfectly perform their techniques, delivering perfectly performed strikes with their preferred and respected styles, as Lai Wulong and Ling Xiaoyu are both able to transform their opponent's offensive attacks into a grapple that they can use to manipulate their opponent, while also dodging gracefully every attack and reverting their grapples. Lai Wulong delivers a backswing elbow, and Xiaoyu catches it with her left hand, and then rotating her body to where her face is right next to her palm and Lai's elbow, she delivers a wrist strike into the gut of Lai Wulong, while then transforming that wrist strike into a swinging elbow to his gut, and then sweep kicks him off his feet. However, Lai Wulong pretends to get knocked down, and he lays down in a comfortable mode. And Xiaoyu looks at this, assuming that he is mocking her. She goes to kick him as if a little child would kick someone's ankle when they're upset. However, that is when Lei Wulong quickly turns this laying down pose into a fighting style, and he rotates his body towards the kick, wrapping his arm around the leg of Xiaoyu, throwing her into the ground. But Xiaoyu manages to go into a reverse phoenix pose with her hands on the ground, pulling her feet out. She then continues rotating her body around, but grabs the hand of Lei Wulong, and as she flips around, she slams Lei down once again. However, Lai is purposefully making it look like he is being harmed when he really isn't. He is dodging every attack that Xiaoyu throws right before it actually hits, and the way he dodges it is him pretending to react that he's being hit. And Xiaoyu has yet to catch on to this, and this has been going on through the entire fight. So Xiaoyu is starting to get intimidated that this man doesn't even have any blood dripping or any bruise forming. She's starting to think that he's abhuman. Lei Wulong then stops playing around and starts throwing kicks and punches that are so well performed that Ling Xiaoyu cannot dodge or block them, and they are hurting her incredibly badly. And though she is trying to dodge it and block it, she just cannot. Lai is at a completely different level than Xiaoyu at this point in her story, and so she is beginning to feel the pain. Though Lai is purposefully not breaking any bones or causing any fractures, he is causing pain, and Ling Xiaoyu feels her body getting weakened as the fight goes on, starting to get frustrated that Lai was going easy on her this whole time, and then she has been giving it her all. And then she thinks about that amusement park that she wants, and though it is not on the same level as everyone else's ambitions, as everyone else's dreams in the Tekken roster, it is a dream that is dear to her. It is a dream that is important to her, and that's all that matters. When you have a dream, it doesn't matter how important it is to anyone else, only that it's important to you. And Ling Xiaoyu, for the first time in the franchise and in her story, shows a bloodthirst side of her personality where it almost seems like her conscience, her morals switch off. Her eyes are no longer the normal color. They have a hint of red within them. And Lai sees this and sees Ling Xiaoyu's entire demeanor change, and Xiaoyu flies towards Lai with an unprecedented speed, and she delivers a spear knee to Lei Wulong, and Lei Wulong blocks it, crossing his arms together. However, this blast is so powerful, it causes him to go flying across the ring with his feet dragging along the ground, and dirt has been flown into the air just by the pure pressure of this strike. And before he has a time to recover, Xiaoyu is already there, and she brings her elbow up, connecting to his jaw, and it throws him backwards. Heihachi is watching this in amazement, realizing that Xiaoyu is not just a silly little girl. She has something hidden within her that has yet to be unlocked. And Jin watches with amazement as he never realized that this little girl was capable of such things. And if this was her passion for an amusement park, they were becoming afraid of what she could be capable of when it came to more important things. Xiaoyu delivers a punch directly to the jawline of Lei Wulong, and this punch should not be something that Xiaoyu's capable of. It has the same strength as Paul Phoenix or Kazuha, without the muscle mass, but still delivering the equal amount of strength, and it knocks Lei Wulong down. However, he manages to get back up, but not in time for Ling Xiaoyu to already cast herself into the air, and she is spinning downwards towards Lei Wulong. She extends both feet out as she falls directly down towards Lei Wulong, and so Lai puts his hands up and catches both feet of Xiaoyu. Xiaoyu then uses his block as a trampoline and jumps off of him, twirling in the air upside down in front of him, and spins, delivering a massive upside down roundhouse that connects to the face of Lai, throwing him down again. She then speeds towards him and starts throwing perfectly assembled combinations that causes Lai to have to be hit 1 out of every 3 attacks. She is timing her attacks in a way to where he physically can't block every 3rd strike. She will bring an elbow to his face, causing him to block with his left arm upwards. She will then deliver a roundhouse left kick, causing him to use that same arm to rotate down, or use his other arm to rotate back, blocking that kick, leaving his hips or his chest, depending on the way he blocks, accessible and exposed. And she strikes it, and she does this style of fighting over and over and over and over and over. And every 3rd strike that connects, it may not sound like a lot, but she is doing this with such an amount of speed that he is getting hit almost consistently. And now the world has got to see, Heihachi has got to see, Jin has got to see what Xiaoyu is truly capable of. But Lai, due to his own motivations, cannot lose to a girl who only wants an amusement park. He has to win this fight, and so he throws dirt in the air, blinding Xiaoyu, and he delivers one of the most massive swing jump kicks that he is capable of delivering, knocking Xiaoyu out. Xiaoyu leaves the ring from her defeat, depressed and sad that she is not capable of accomplishing her goal of having her own amusement park. But when she leaves the ring, she's confronted by Lai Wulong, who gives her a bow and tells her that she was one of the greatest opponents that he had ever faced and that he was incredibly impressed. Paul Phoenix is also cheering at her, telling her that she did a great job, while spilling his bottle of whiskey and appears to be somewhat drunk at this point. And Jin Kazuma gives her a big hug, telling her that she did great. And as she looks up at the temple, she sees Heihachi smiling, giving her a thumbs up. And so her depression and sadness of losing the tournament extinguishes with her happiness of just having so many good people and friends around. And now the 3rd tournament continues with Xiaoyu no more being a part of it. And unfortunately, that is when things get more complicated and darker when it comes to the story of Xiaoyu. The 3rd King of the Iron Fist tournament's purpose was to lure out the ogre as a plan from Heihachi Mishima, which I had covered in the Mishima story, in the Heihachi Mishima story. If you have yet to check it out, I'll link it right here and also at the end. Now, after the fight with the ogre, Heihachi picks up Jin Kazuma, who is now completely passed out from the fight, and as they fly off on a helicopter, Heihachi sees the markings of the devil genes show up on Jin Kazuma, and Heihachi looks at this with his fears coming to life, knowing what he has to do, and he looks down sad at Jin Kazuma and picks up his grandson the way he did so many years ago with his own son, and throws him out of the helicopter as Jin Kazuma falls to his death. And so Heihachi thinks about the little girl, thinks about what's gonna happen when she cannot find Jin Kazuma. And so he decides to keep a close eye on Xiaoyu and informs her that Jin Kazuma has gone missing, and this breaks the heart of Xiaoyu as Xiaoyu grew a strong bond with Jin Kazuma as the memories of her playing with Jin Kazuma as a child in the forest with just her, him and the panda roaming, playing tag, growing up together, comes flushing into her memories. She is in tears, but understands that Jin has gone missing, and she tells Heihachi that she will find him and do whatever it takes to find Jin Kazuma, which Heihachi knew would be Xiaoyu's go-to choice, and he implements his plan to keep a close eye. So Heihachi looks at Xiaoyu.
You know, I want to find him too. And I know you'll do everything it takes to find Jin. But you cannot allow this to get in the way of your future. And so, if you want to find Jin Kazuma, absolutely give it your all. But I want to give you an opportunity to further your education within the Mijima High.
And Xiaoyu looks at Heihachi, not knowing the sinister plans that Heihachi has, but assuming that Heihachi is giving her advice from an old man and giving her advice of wisdom. And so Xiaoyu accepts the invitation to go to the Mishima High, and she begins her new life, extending her education. And throughout the years, she is consistently looking for Jin Kazuma, trying to piece together clues of what happened after the third King of the Iron Fist tournament and why he went missing. On top of this, she is studying at the Mishima High, and Heihachi is pulling the strings, making sure she is always preoccupied with school to reduce the amount of time she has to search for Jin Kazuma. And 1 year before the events of Tekken 4, she begins to receive encrypted emails from a stranger telling her that Heihachi Mishima has Jin Kazuma and is the one holding Jin Kazuma in captivity. Also, that Jin Kazuma's father has returned and that Jin is in great danger. The email continues to inform her that she too is in great danger from Heihachi Mishima and that she needs to leave the Mishima High. Xiaoyu doesn't know how to handle this information, and she ignores the emails. However, they keep coming in, and every time she gets another email from this mysterious person, it has more and more information and more proof that she truly is in danger and that Jin Kazuma is too in danger. And so she sets up a meeting with this unknown person, and they meet in the middle of nowhere in a hidden valley. And it is the great ninja Yoshimitsu, who at one point worked alongside Heihachi as his bodyguard and still works as Bionovich's bodyguard, who is now trying to find Brian Fury. And with all of this, Yoshimitsu has taken the time out to try to protect Xiaoyu, because that is what Yoshimitsu does. He protects those who are incapable of protecting themselves. And Yoshimitsu tells Xiaoyu that he is only out to protect her, and he's only out to stop the evil that Heihachi continuously brings into the world. And so he tells Xiaoyu to join the 4th King of the Iron Fist tournament, and by doing so, she will be able to confront Kazuha, Heihachi, and find Jin Kazuma, and Xiaoyu accepts. As Xiaoyu goes into the 4th King of the Iron Fist tournament to find Jin Kazuma, she looks at her panda and pets her panda on the top of the head and tells him to go find Jin just in case she fails, and makes the panda paw promise that he will find Jin Kazuma, and Xiaoyu gives the panda a little bag with all the pictures of everywhere that the panda needs to go. And so Xiaoyu goes into the 4th King of the Iron Fist tournament, and we will get back with Xiaoyu in the next video. However, for now, we are going to stick with the panda. And so the panda, occasionally stopping for a snack, pulling the bag off of his back and looking in at the pictures, is following all the trails that Xiaoyu had led him to, and he ends up at the Heihachi Dojo, the Mishima Dojo, and the panda walks into the dojo. However, it is guarded by Kuma, and the panda looks at Kuma, and Kuma looks at Panda as these two bears stare down at each other. The Kuma gives Panda a growl, which in their language telling the panda to leave and that he is not welcome, but the panda had promised with his paw that he will help Xiaoyu. And so the panda sets down the bag, takes off his little hat, and charges in towards Kuma as these bears are biting and clawing each other and rolling around through the outside of the dojo and beating the crap out of each other the way bears do, trying to get into that dojo, but Kuma will not let Panda through. You need to find our friend Jin. Xiaoyu's voice repeatedly echoes in Panda's head, and Panda must fulfill this paw promise because Panda remembers holding Xiaoyu in his arms while Xiaoyu cried about Jin Kazuma missing and not knowing where he was and not being able to protect a friend they grew up with. Panda is tired of watching his best friend cry. He is tired of having to console her, and he wants Jin back too. And so he gives everything he has to taking on Kuma, just swallowed up and engulfed in his animal instincts, biting and slashing Kuma, while Kuma is delivering the same thing. However, the grizzly bear is much stronger than the panda, and so Panda decides to throw away his animal instincts, and he starts using the martial arts that Wang had taught him while he was the sparring partner of Xiaoyu, and the panda starts using kung fu wrist techniques in order to veer away the massive slashes that Kuma has been providing. And the panda is handling it quite well. However, Kuma is pushing Panda down, slashing Panda open in many different spots while biting the flesh off of Panda. And Panda is now at the edge of the tall staircase that leads to the dojo. Panda then bites deep into the throat of Kuma and picks him up by the throat and throws him over, launching him down the large brick stairs. And as Kuma fumbles and flops and falls down the staircase, he is knocked out by the time he reaches the bottom with multiple contusions in his body. And now Panda, who is bleeding from the slashes and the bites of Kuma, walks to the dojo. And as Panda goes into the dojo, he sees Jin Kazuma being held in the air by chains in the dojo, and so Panda goes to break the chains to free his friend and keep his paw promise. However, a Tekken 4 soldier who heard the commotion has approached to the dojo and points a gun at Panda, telling Panda to stop and to leave the dojo. And Panda looks at the Tekken 4 soldier and gives a mighty roar. And the soldier fires at Panda, and the bullet hits the chest of Panda. As Panda charges to the Tekken 4 soldier, he fires again, hitting Panda, and then he fires again, shooting Panda in the back. As Panda is running on all four legs, he finally makes it to the Tekken 4 soldier and bites down on the head, killing the soldier, and the Panda collapses on the ground, and he looks back at Jin Kazuma, sorry that he is not going to be able to save his friend and keep the paw promise he made to Xiaoyu. And so Panda now needs to leave the dojo but cannot get up, and so the Panda begins dragging himself with the 3 bullet holes and the slashes of Kuma, creating a trail of blood as Panda is trying to make it back to Xiaoyu, but the distance is so far, and the more Panda travels, the thicker the blood trail becomes. And meanwhile, while Panda fights for his life trying to make it to Xiaoyu's giving it everything she has, fighting Nina Williams, and all hope seems lost for Xiaoyu and Panda, for Panda is about to die, and Xiaoyu is about to fail at confronting Heihachi, and that is where I must leave this video off and continue Xiaoyu's and Panda's story in the next video. So if you guys have listened for this long, thank you very much. If you enjoyed, please do consider hitting the like and subscribe button. Do not get hit by a meteor. Take care of yourselves, and bye.